Now let's see.
The
where
important
else is
thing
her
about
money?
having these.
Insurance.
An insurance card.
Man, I'm sorry I have all your cash.
We drove separately today. I came to this deer stop, did Dunkin' Donuts, ordered, drove through the drive-thru, get to the window. No money.
That's awkward.
So sad. But now I have money, so I'm good. Why the sunglasses, Todd? Oh, fun. Look at. Ooh.
Tell them why you have sunglasses and I had all your money.
I don't have to wear them, actually. It's a little bright in here. Had surgery yesterday on this eye. And I think I talked to you about this. And I have been through an experience where I cut my eyelid open.
He was helping somebody put the chains on their snow tires, and the hook went flipped up, and it's like it split.
And I was fine.
Face down in the snow. I'm turning him over because there's blood everywhere.
And see, when you go to the hospital, they have to sew it, which they did a great job. But this is the experience. And you see the needle that close to your eye, and I'm like...
And there's no edging away from that. That's pretty much where you're at.
The cry went out for drugs, and I got him. So that's the thing I was really afraid of, getting this. And I had a cataract they took out, and they put in a new lens, and they did all this stuff. And if you are afraid of this...
You were very brave.
If you are afraid of this, I have to tell you...
Terry, I'm sorry we're pointing at you, honey.
There is no reason of panic or pain or anything, a reason for you not to be able to see. None. And I'm like, okay, and they gave you some sedative, and you have to talk back and forth.
You were kind of awesome, I'm not kidding.
And you just lay there, and he goes, okay, look at this dot, look at that, and then the thing's right here. And you don't care. It's that awesome.
That's the joy of modern pharmaceuticals.
So, and this is the one where they actually open stuff up, and they stir the pot, and they put a lens, and they put back on. Not an issue. And
your eye looked completely normal right after surgery. I mean, it was a little dilated, obviously.
And I have injured myself a great many times, and I'm always.
I think when you have your own wing at the ER, like the Todd Collard room, I think people know that about you.
Been kind of stoic through it, and like if it's an accident injury, you're okay. But deliberately being jabbed is just a weird thing. But anyway, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Go get it done. You'd be so happy. I already see better. I see colors better.
Are you going to be annoying now the way I was after my LASIK?
I am going to be freaking annoying as hell.
Yeah. Morning, Wendy.
Anyway,
morning, Wendy.
What else were we going to talk about up at the top here?
I was kind of excited about the Naxalone kits, but we probably can't do that today, can we?
Show me a kit, just really quick. We're gonna talk later this week about this. And this
the Loxone, excuse me.
And this is actually the kit. And this is the kit that is being handed out by Jennifer Plum.
Dr. Jennifer Plum. It's part of, you can see it's a nonprofit here, but her brother had died from an overdose.
Right.
And she's saved over 2,200 people with these free kits. And basically,
get out.
It's a needle. You pull it out and you just get it into the muscle. But they're calling Naxalone like the Lazarus drug. It's amazing because you literally can be flatlined. And this can bring you back to life, and not even with like brutal side effects. You come back and you're alert and you're there. And the thing that's so cool about it is they've saved, like she had a grandma come in and tell her that she'd saved her husband because he'd come home from the hospital. They gave him too many pain meds.
Grandfather.
His blood pressure dropped and he was passing away. And the Nana, had it, saved his life. It could be, and it could be an 18-year-old addict. It could be a nice 36-year-old mom. It could be anyone you can possibly imagine because opioid overdose is insane. I think they told me we lose 22 people a week here in Utah.
Right.
22 people a week here in Utah for opioid overdose. And this isn't addicts in the the alleyway somewhere. This is people like us.
And
who
the
took
people in the
prescription
alleyway.
medication. Them too. But just people who took, it comes just as in a legal bottle as everything else.
So if you don't like needles, you have to get over it. You do.
Well, it's not going in you. What do you care?
If you've got a family member and stuff who is at risk and things like that, basically, it's the instruction is here. You can go to YouTube. You can find out how it's done.
We're going to have a how-to video coming up for you, too.
And basically, you take the syringe, you stick it in the bottle. There is no alcohol involved here because
you're in a rush.
It is a do-it-now kind of thing. You draw it into the syringe, and whatever the guy, the person, the woman, the man has
Same dose.
has sticking up in the air, that's where you shove the needle. In their butt, in their arm, in their thigh. It doesn't matter. If there's air bubbles in it, because everybody worries about that, it doesn't matter.
Intramuscular, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So anyway.
And here's something that's really important. Dr. Plum was sort of on the forefront with a lot of other smart people who got this legislation passed. Because, like, for instance, you'll see librarians at the Salt Lake City Library do this now. They were trained. This is 100% completely legal. What you're doing, this is 100% within the law. They're saying, no, we support this. We're for this. Go for it. This is nothing you have to worry about, that this was not appropriate or you'd get in trouble. This is saving a life, and it's 100% legal.
Here's the cool thing. It's the exact same dose for a 6-month-old as it is for a 40-year-old man. A 40-year-old man who weighs 300 pounds, same as a 6-month-old. And she was telling us a story where they had 4 kids come in out of one family, and they all had OD'd on their parents' medication. And what did they use?
Naloxone.
So anyway, we're going to tell you more about that.
Lindy says, needles give me the heebie-jeebies, but I could get over it.
Yeah.
If this is someone, any human being that you can save, you get over it.
And you can practice on an orange. How cool is that?
So we're really excited. I mean, this is something we're going to talk more about, and we've got a great interview coming up where they show you how to do it. It's not hard. If you can't afford to buy a kit, the kits are free. If you want to donate, there's a place to go donate to help other people. But it's wonderful.
Cool. A lot of people did you mention about the stigma? It's like, oh, you must be an addict. It's like, no, I've got people I care about.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of them.
Or it could be a complete stranger. I just like knowing I could help somebody if they needed me.
Murray police are looking for someone, and this is funny, a little funny, because they were trying to steal something. They dropped it.
Smart.
But they still want to find him. Here, show him the mugshot. He goes, for once.
Now he's sitting here with his backpack on, just walking around looking all cash.
Yeah.
Wearing my backpack.
He's doing his thing.
Just wearing my backpack.
Yeah.
This was at Dillard's in what, do you remember? Oh, it's Fashion Place Mall.
Right.
Okay, here's the part that I find the most interesting. The backpack he's wearing that he was going to steal, it's a $500 backpack.
I think it's got stuff in it.
Okay, it needs to be lined with like vibranium or something. I want to know there's something in it, like the Winter Soldier's like vibranium armor. I want there to be value to this. What backpack is worth $500? And there was nothing in it. It's just a designer backpack.
What?
Yeah, it was a designer
At Dillard's. Ooh. So anyway, if you know who that is, call the Murray police. The reason we show this, show them the picture again. The reason we show this is because out of all the surveillance photos that we've seen over the last year, this one actually shows someone. All those doorbell.
That's a nice clear one, isn't it?
All those doorbell video things that show the person coming up and stealing something off your porch when their head's down and there's no way to... And anybody seen this guy? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to look the crown of hair on everyone I know now just to figure out if it's them. That is actually a really nice shot.
Yeah, it's very clear.
You could put that on your resume of fiefdom.
Do they have resumes in
I don't think so much.
Because like if you're applying for larger organization, you have like a list of all the stuff you've stolen.
I don't think there's a secret handshake. Erin.
There could be. You never know.
Senator Hatch has called out about the thing.
Well, this is interesting. Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican, and 11 other Republican senators signed a letter addressed to the U.S. Attorney General yesterday asking him to stop the practice of separating families at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, it says, although enforcing our immigration laws is an essential responsibility of the federal government, it must be done in a way that is consistent with our values and ordinary human decency. We support the administration's efforts to enforce our immigration laws, but we can't support implementation of a policy that results in the categorical forced separation of minor children from their parents. We therefore ask you to halt the implementation of the department's zero-tolerance policy while Congress works out a solution that enables faster processing of individuals who enter our country illegally without requiring the forced inhumane separation of children from their parents. They're saying now that if this is not halted, there will be over 3,000 children in custody just in one detention center in Texas within the next month. I mean, we're at an escalation rate. And it's interesting. I was talking to a couple of people about this that are human rights activists. And what they were saying is one of the biggest concerns is, number one, you don't know who's working in the center. You're talking about essentially orphaned children right now with no resources to go to if there's a problem or if they're hurt in some way. And number three, they don't have a plan yet and a system to get the children back to their parents. So their biggest fear was human trafficking. Their biggest terror is people forging documents and going and being able to take these children.
I'm not going to get into it because you're not going to change your mind, are you? You're not going to change your mind.
No matter how you feel, and we understand.
If you're for it or against it, you're not going to change your mind. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. The thing that gets... No, actually, I can't. But I will say this. I've never seen anything tear Facebook apart more than this. Not even guns, not even sex education in the schools. I have never, ever seen such a divide and an angry divide on Facebook. That's all I'm going to say.
It is interesting. 12 Republican senators, and they're like, look, just give us a minute to work this through. It does look like the House has been working through a policy, but I just thought it was interesting that Senator Hatch stood up and kind of went to the forefront of this.
You know why? Because he's not rerunning. He doesn't have to worry about his seat. My thought. Let's get some information, shall we?
Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink & McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. They have all the information there. You will be amazed at how many mortgages you qualify for. They usually take less than a month, and they will save you tens of thousands of dollars. By Brio Technologies, they're your experts in lighting, sound, and video. If you want an insane video wall for your business or maybe for your home or maybe a new school that's going up, these are the people that can set everything up for you. You can rent from them. You can lease. They'll repair. They'll set up everything. It's amazing. BrioAudiovisual.com. And by the New Millennium Financial Group. With a great economy, this is the perfect time to make sure that your retirement and your kids' college funds are set. Even if you never even thought you could afford one of those, this is the time. So go to utahsfinancialplanner.com to get started. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news on Wednesday, June 20th on GephartDaily.com. Police investigators are on the scene of a fatal shooting in downtown Salt Lake City. The incident happened around 5:30 a.m. Wednesday in the plaza between the Workforce Services Building at 140 East 300 South and the Utah Department of Commerce. Police say the victim, described only as a white male, was shot after an encounter with an armed security guard. Officials said it appeared the security guard and the man who was shot were involved in a physical altercation when the man tried to grab the security guard's pistol. The guard then opened fire, mortally wounding the alleged assailant, who died on the downtown sidewalk. A residence in Taylorsville is likely a total loss after fully involved fire early Wednesday morning. Unified Fire Authority Battalion Chief Scott McBride told Gephardt Daily the blaze in the area of 4542 South Edgeware Lane, 2275 West, reported at approximately 3:30 a.m., was one of the most fast-moving fires he's ever seen. The 4 people inside the home were able to self-evacuate, he said. Firefighters extinguished the blaze in about half an hour. The home likely is a total loss. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And 3 people are dead following a head-on crash Tuesday night just south of Scipio. Utah Highway Patrol officials said the crash happened around 8:50 p.m. on State Route 50 near milepost 136 in Millard County. The highway was closed in both directions at that location, and drivers were asked to avoid the area. 2 people died on the scene, and an 11-year-old passed away en route to Primary Children's Hospital. Time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. Today's going to be in the mid-80s, then Thursday jumps around 10 degrees to the mid-90s. The weekend, though, is set to be very nice and not too hot, with temps in the mid to upper 80s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. New Millennium Financial. What they're going to do is going to put all your pieces together. You got a 401k. You got some equity in your house. You got the last kid leaving the house. Maybe you got one more kid going to college. You want to retire. You've got maybe some investments that you've made as well. How do you put it together? How to make the rest of your life kind of a fun thing? What about retirement? These are the people who can put it together and make it work for you. UtahFinancialPlanner.com. All right.
Tell me something good is so adorable today. Oh my God, this is so adorable.
I saw this story. And I got to tell you, it is one of those things that you just will never forget. All right, so this is high school. This is high school baseball. And high school baseball is really competitive. I mean, it really is.
Well, there's a lot on the line emotionally for these kids. I mean, a ton. This is everything you've been brought up, and you've done everything up to this big moment.
From
That's
Little
a lot
League,
for a teenager.
Little League up, and your parents going to the games, and you working on coaching and all that stuff, and it's really great. Mounds View High School was winning 4-0 over Totino Grace team in the final game of the final season.
Wow.
This is it. The winner of this goes on to the national championships. Now, the funny thing is, the last batter up happened to be friends with a pitcher from the other team.
Senior pitcher is Tyler Cohen.
Right. And the batter is up, and he starts pitching, and he gets up on the guy, and next thing you know, he strikes him out. His team wins.
It's so hard though when it's your friend. This
Do
is
we
like
have a
League of
picture
Our
of this?
Own.
I think we do. The crowd, the team gathers
Yeah, they're all
at the
clustering
center of
and
the field like they do. This is what you do. This is baseball. This is what you do. The two guys hugging.
down to the left.
One is the pitcher, and the other is the batter. He just struck out.
And he raced over to comfort his friend instead of like celebrating with his teammates because he knew it was just.
They've been friends since
Killing his
Little
friend.
League. These guys have been in touch with each other, still friends, and he had to strike his friend out.
I absolutely love that picture, though. I love his compassion.
Yep.
I love the fact that he did all the right things that he's supposed to do for his
Right.
team, but a huge compassion for how his friend felt.
On the video on this, it's really interesting because he hugs him, he talks to him, and then the friend, the one he struck out, pushes him away.
Go celebrate.
Yeah, go.
You're verklempt.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
There's no crying in baseball.
Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, would you like to take 3 of your favorite people and go have dinner?
You should.
Relax, and everything's taken care of. It's a wonderful meal.
you
You
should
have a
do
great
that.
night. Well, this
Yeah.
is what we're going to do. All you have to do is share the show today. If you're on Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved's Facebook page, just share the show. If you're on the Todd and Erin page, welcome. We love you. Just share the show. It doesn't matter even when you're watching this. It can be 3 months later. We're always giving this away. So all I'll do is I'll pick a recent share. You're ready to go. You're automatically entered no other effort because you know we're against effort.
Coming up next. Coming up next, your dog never has to be alone. Ever. Just like Airbnb. We'll tell you what it is next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape. Feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Pet lovers. We're talking about dogs. We know a bunch of people who every day when they go to work, they drop their dog. Most of them are small. We got big ones. And they drop their dog off at a doggy daycare place where they play with the other dogs and stuff. In a lot of cases, that's $20 to $30 a day.
And for a lot of people, though, it's self-preservation because the dog left alone will basically tear up your entire house. My dachshund ate my sofa.
Plus, it's sad.
My entire freaking sofa. Not like in one day. It was like an elephant. It was bite-sized chunks. But yes, my dachshund ate my sofa. That's when I learned he should not be left alone.
And so basically that's, and the dogs get to go, and if they are a social dog, they get to socialize with the other dogs and stuff. But some people, that wasn't enough. And so what they've done is they've designed an app. It's called Dog Sharing. And
Oh, that's so adorable. Oh.
Let's say you're a person who loves dogs.
That is so sweet.
But don't want the responsibility of going and getting one. And so someone puts on the app, it's like Uber, and says, "Hi, my name is Todd, and I have a Portuguese water dog. His name is Gil, and he is a great dog and enjoys being scratched behind the ears. He knows when to go outside to go poo, and I think you will love him. Oh, he doesn't shed.
We're pretty sure that he understands English.
Pretty much, and he doesn't speak Portuguese, and he doesn't swim. But here's our dog, and we're looking for someone a couple hours a day, every day
Who might
of the
have
week.
a dog that also wants companionship.
And well, it's more people just enjoying the
Really?
companionship. It's not even dogs.
You're kidding. It's not even pairing him up with dogs. It's pairing
like,
with people.
I would love to take care of a poodle for 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday.
Oh, that's, actually for the elderly, that's like a really cool thing.
Right.
You're not lonely. You get to hang out, take it for walks.
You can do all these things and just enjoy the dog and its presence and then let it go home. It's like grandkids. It's like grandkids.
Someone else has to give them their shots and discipline them and pick
Right.
up the poop.
This is funny. 59-year-old Janet Egan, she says she's been participating in this for almost a year now. And she says, it's funny, my poodle is being raised by a community because she has 4 different people.
That's so funny.
So the dog is never alone. The dog is happy. The dog probably has a different manner with each one of these people. So it takes a village to raise a dog, and that's what she's doing. It's interesting.
That's so funny. I kind of like the idea of that, like the part-time dog.
Yeah, or maybe you're a person and you want to walk more and you're having a hard time and you love dogs. Well, if you took a dog and it just like gives you motivation to walk.
Because otherwise they give you that look and they stand by the door.
Right.
And if it's our dog, he'll do this
Right.
low whine just underneath his breast. So it's like one of those high-pitched squeals that you can just barely hear it, but it's enough to make you want to scratch your eyes out. He's good at that.
Our dog sounds like this.
It's like a huffing.
That's not creepy at all. Speaking of dogs,
Well, it's nice. This dog app's adorable, but it does make me go, just how invested emotionally are you in your pet? I mean, how...
me?
You? Never mind. I already know. But it's very funny. They actually came up with a psychological quiz to see, are you maybe a little too involved
That's not possible.
with your dog? Number
That's
one,
not possible.
you talk to them like a person.
I do.
Like Ron Burgundy and his fabulously furry friend Baxter, who ate the
Of course,
weight
you
of
talk
cheese.
to your dog. Who doesn't? I'll be right back. Like he understands.
Well, he listens. He understands. He
And
never
then you
judges.
tell him where you're going because that information of I'm leaving isn't enough. I'm picking up milk at the store. I'm not going to that store. I'm going to the one up there. And the dog just stares at you and understands every word you're saying.
You pamper them like your child. Like you get them the totally fly, balls and collars. And I did get Gil a light-up collar, but that's just because we walk
You
at night.
did that.
Well, it's because we walk at night. You happily pay the extra security deposits. Yeah, that extra like $2,000 you have to shell out so that they can live in the house with you.
How much was ours? 0. Why? Because Gil is such a good dog.
No, he's a trained service dog. That's why.
So great dog.
Good or not, it's the fact that he's a trained service dog. You only feed them the best food. Maybe you're not eating even steak, but the dog is. Yeah. You include them in family. Okay, this is always the one that gets me.
Okay, the food not
You
for me.
include
No, I
them
don't do it.
in family portraits.
Of course you do. What's wrong with you?
You would really insist on getting Gil into our next family portrait?
Absolutely. Who are you? What have I married?
You spend more on their grooming than on your own. Yeah, that's you for sure. Well, it's true. You totally make sure that Gil is all clipped and all the gland
I only
stuff
have
is done.
one thing to say to you.
You have their picture as your background on your phone or your computer.
I could do that.
You arrange play dates with other furry friends, hence the app, or perhaps going to the dog park so you know that some of their bros will
Hiking
be there.
in the foothills.
You hire only the most qualified sitters when you're out of town. Yes, your kids can go to Nana, who cares? But the dog is getting someone with a pedigree you can't imagine.
Do you have any problem with this so far? I don't think so.
You have both dog treats and human treats on your counter.
in the cupboard.
You
yes.
constantly trip over toys. How many times have I sprained my ankle going over one of his balls? You can't remember the last time you weren't covered in hair. This is the one, thank God, thank the good Lord, that
Our
Gil
dog
has hair, not fur.
Does not shed.
Yeah.
You know what I say about that?
You don't know how to sleep alone anymore.
He doesn't sleep on the bed. No.
You can't remember your life before your baby. Your baby puppy.
It wasn't as good as it is now. This all applies to you as well. Do you know that?
What, is your wife or something? Or
yeah. Do you talk to them like a person? Yes, I do. Do you pamper them like you love them so much? Yes, I do, Erin. Yes, I do. Make the noise.
You realize right now that you're comparing your wife of 21 years to a dog.
Well, in dog years, that's a lot less.
Do you really want to?
I include you in family photos. I feed you only the best food. I spend on grooming. I help pay for your hair and your eyebrow work. You arrange play dates. I'm not sure how that works. I have a picture of you on my phone as the background picture. You are just right up there. This is awesome.
You know, taking this to its logical...
I have treats for you.
Taking this to its logical conclusion means that I'm going to whack you on the back of the head with one of our trophies from being Utah's most awarded podcast. I am going to whack you on the back of the head.
I've been covered with your hair.
Okay, we're going to move on now.
I don't want to sleep alone anymore. See, this is exactly about you.
We're going to move on. Coming up next, this is awesome. Chris Pratt was at the MTV Movie Awards, and he gave the rules on how to be a good guy. And it was awesome. We'll tell you about it next. You were in so much trouble. We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by StayFit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape. Feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. It is time for Hollywood Connection, brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. They are our lovely friends at Utah's heatingandcooling.com. They have a $39 special right now to tune up your air conditioner. May I strongly suggest you do it now and save yourself money, like hundreds of dollars. Okay, this is pretty cool. Chris Pratt got the Generation Award at the MTV Movie and TV Awards, and it was kind of sweet. He used his speech as an opportunity to share some wisdom with the young men.
All right.
Of the audience. He says, I'm going to cut the chase and I am going to speak with you, the next generation. I accept the responsibility as your elder, so listen up.
Okay.
Here are his 9 rules for living. Number 1, breathe. If you don't, you'll suffocate. So,
okay, got that.
You have a soul. Be careful with it.
Okay.
Don't be a turd. If you're strong, be a protector. If you're smart, be a humble influencer.
Right.
Strength and intelligence can be weapons, so do not wield them against the weak. That makes you a bully. Be bigger than that.
And a turd.
When giving a dog medicine, put the medicine in a little piece of hamburger and they won't even know they're eating medicine. It doesn't matter what it is. Earn it. A good deed, reach out to someone in pain, be of service. It feels good and it's good for your soul. Number 6, God is real. God loves you. God wants the best for you. Believe that. I do. Okay, and I go from that to this. Number 7, if you have to poop at a party, but you're embarrassed because you're going to stink up the bathroom, just do what I do. Lock the door, sit down, get out all of the pee first. And then once all the pee is done, poop, flush, and boom, you minimize the amount of time that the poop is touching the air. Because if you poop first, it takes you longer to pee. And then you're stirring up the poop particles and creating a cloud, so everyone at the party will know. So trust me, do it the other way. It's science.
What?
You know, it's his pacing that really gets to me. Learn to pray. It's easy and it's good for the soul. And number 9, nobody is perfect. People will tell you, you are perfect just the way you are.
No one's
you
perfect
are not.
The way they are.
You are imperfect. You will always be, but there is a powerful force that designed you that way. And if you're willing to accept that, you will have grace. And grace is a gift. Like the freedom that we enjoy in this country, that grace was paid for with somebody else's blood. Do not forget that. Do not take it for granted. The poop thing, really?
It ruined it for me. All the other things just ruined it. That just ruined it. That's not something I needed to know.
You know what, though? If you think about it, though, that is an issue as an adolescent at a social event. I remember that. I do. It's an issue. I can understand.
Here's something to put a chill up your back, folks. And you've all been part of this. You're at a party and the toilet backs up and you're inside.
And everyone's going to blame you.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
It's not your fault.
Coming up next, why can't we get rid of talking about dogs? You know why? Because they're awesome. And coming up next, service dogs. There's something you don't know that they're doing. And in case Gil's listening,
All right, let's go to Daisy first. She's in the Gephardt Daily newsroom. She is brought to you by the New Millennium Financial Group. This is your time. You can actually have a retirement. The economy is great. Make your move. They'll help you. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Also by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you are going to be amazed at how many mortgage options you have, and that they don't have to cost you tens of thousands of dollars. You don't have to sort through your entire life for the bank to pick at, and it can be done within a month or so, almost always. Fink-mcgregor.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the US and around the world on Wednesday, June 20th on GephartDaily.com. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell nearly 300 points on Tuesday as President Donald Trump threatened China with additional tariffs. The Dow was down 287.26 points, or 1.15%, at the close of trading Tuesday after Trump promised to impose an additional $200 billion worth of tariffs on China if it retaliates for the fiscal penalties he imposed last week. The S&P 500 also dropped 0.4%, and the Nasdaq Composite fell 0.3% as fears of a potential trade war with China flared up again following Trump's statement. The United States withdrew from the UN Human Rights Council Tuesday in protest of perceived hypocrisy and bias against Israel within the council. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced the withdrawal at the U.S. State Department, where Haley referred to the council as hypocritical and self-serving organization. The council has failed in its stated objectives, Pompeo said. Haley accused the council of becoming a protector of human rights abusers and a cesspool of political bias. And a New Jersey prosecutor said Tuesday 2 people were charged in the Trenton Festival shootings that left 1 person dead and 29 people injured. Devone White, 26, of Trenton, faces charges including unlawful possession of a weapon and possession of a large-capacity magazine. White is in stable condition in the hospital where he is being treated for injuries from the shooting that occurred at the Art All Night Festival in Trenton, New Jersey. Amir Armstrong, 23, also faces a charge of unlawful possession of a weapon. He is in critical condition at a hospital. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. Today's going to be in the mid-80s, then Thursday jumps around 10 degrees to the mid-90s. The weekend, though, is set to be very nice and not too hot, with temps in the mid to upper 80s. Though the temperature today in St. George climbs to over 100, Thursday it's going to be near 110, so slather on the sunscreen and stay inside if you can. For more news 24/7, check out GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. This happened to our neighbors. Our neighbor's house is for sale. They put it up 4 days ago. And we went over and we said, hey, how's it going? And they went, this is crazy. And the nice thing is they don't have to clean their house that much because it got sold.
Yeah, it really didn't matter. They're like, we'll just take it, thanks.
So basically what happened was, and we've been saying this for a long time, but it's nice to hear it from the horse's mouth. They said we had 3 people who made bids, and 1 was ready to go. And we weren't going to let the other people tie up the house and then go get financing and figuring it out. They did it first. If you want to go get that information for yourself, there's a ton of different mortgage programs waiting for you that you have no idea. Fink and McGregor knows how. Go on their website, and all you have to do is go to fink-mcgregor.com. There's a 4-minute test. You go ahead and take it. They're going to figure out credit score. 600, you can still buy a house, even a little under that.
And by the way, Jeff Stout, we were talking to him, and I was like, people are saying to wait, and he goes, oh, God, don't wait. Let me explain why. And it was amazing. You need to talk to them and get some information about if you are planning to sell, this is the time, and they will tell you why. It's pretty cool.
All right, Fink and McGregor, go check them out. I am not sure how I feel about this.
About gaming?
I heard it the other day, and I heard a lengthy discussion about it, and this is about the fact that when you game too much, it becomes a disease.
Well, the World Health Organization has now officially classified gaming disorder as a mental health issue. Now, that is a fairly substantial diagnosis because when that happens, that means insurance companies have to pay for treatment. It means a lot of different things.
Right.
And so there's been a fair amount of speculation. One expert said it's a little bit premature to be labeling this as a diagnosis.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we both know people like this where they go to work for 8 hours and then they come home and they game for 6 hours and they spend all their money on skins and all their money. Did you know that there's a thing for special background skins for your games?
Yeah.
You can buy different outfits for your characters.
Yeah.
With money.
Well, you got to be spiffy when you're killing aliens,
and I do understand the logic of some of these people. The couple that I know, their lives are not satisfying. Their job is not satisfying. And in this virtual world, they are king. They can control everything that happens. They feel strong, and it's their thing. But it's like literally that's their entire life. Other than sleeping and going to work, that's what they do.
I will say, and there's not a lot of room for girlfriends there. I'm going to tell you that. I got to tell you, I don't have a gaming system for a reason. And I once bought a full-size arcade game of asteroids.
I thought it was Ms. Pac-Man. Oh, sorry.
Really? And then the deluxe version of that. So I had the full stand-up deal. And I'll tell you what, that's not a good thing for me. Now, I will say that. Is it a disease? Probably not. But it's like, I know that I would spend a bunch of time doing that when I could be spending time doing other things that are better. And I think there are some people who can go down and play their game for a couple hours and not neglect their family and not neglect their wife. But there are some people who go berserk.
Well, they do have a fairly specific diagnosis. One is that the gaming behavior takes precedence over all activities to the extent that other activities are taken to the periphery, meaning they don't contain.
That's like fishing. Fishing is the same thing.
The second feature is impaired control of these behaviors, meaning that even if there were consequences, you would still have to go back to it. It wouldn't matter. That means persistent or recurrent behavior pattern.
That one is golf. Keep going.
Third feature is the condition leads to significant distress and impairment in personal, family, social, educational, or occupational functioning. So if you think about that, that is the same diagnosis you would follow for alcoholism or drug addiction or depression.
No. I can't buy it. I'm sorry. I think they're susceptible to this.
That there's addictive personalities that may...
Yes, exactly. So that brings up the whole drug addiction thing, and I'm not going to go there. But I think there are certain people who tend to lose it and just dive in and not want to come back out. I get that. But really? I mean, it's the cure for this is to turn it off.
Okay, well, isn't that like telling a clinically depressed person to cheer up?
I would never do that.
Well, what I'm saying, though, you make it a solution that is relatively simplistic.
Okay, you can still game, but you have to game the stupidest game there is, something with My Little Pony.
Something deeply unsatisfying so that it just sort of weans you off permanently.
You don't have a gun, and you have little treats for My Little Pony people. I don't know. I don't know.
The whole thing confuses me because you know how hooked I was on Pokemon Go.
Like, wait.
And
Was?
No, and then I stopped it. I dropped it for 3 months because they said this is no longer suitable for your platform because I refused to upgrade my phone. And we talked about it on the show earlier, a couple of days ago, and then I found out on my iPad I had upgraded that and I could play on that. So for 3 straight nights. Now here's the thing: they threw up everything I've ever been looking for. I was able to upload. I was able to upgrade, my magic harp to a Giardios, the red one. I was finally able to get enough of the whales to make the big whale, which by the way was very disappointing because it's just a bigger whale. I thought it would be better than that, but it was 3 nights of like all the awesome ones that you never get any other time ever.
I'm starting
and I'm
to
like,
change
you're
my
totally
mind.
sucking me into this. And then here's the creepy part. I was looking at our LinkedIn profile yesterday because we'd been talking about Pokemon Go on the show for a few days. The vice president of Pokemon Go was looking at our LinkedIn profile, and I'm like, why would you be doing that?
I wrote him.
Why would you be looking at us?
I sent him an email. I told him about the other night when it was like 1 o'clock and we'd stayed up and watched a movie. And
it was right across the street from our house. We have 7 Pokestops from our house. What was I supposed to do?
And then she pulls out her iPad and looks, and she gets all excited. Next thing I know, she's got her pants on, and she's out and leaves the door. I hear the front door close. 1 o'clock in the morning.
And you being the concerned, protective spouse
I rolled
that you
over
are.
and went to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Dear Mr. Vice President, what's up?" That's why he touched base with us.
You really didn't do that. No, but it is eerie how they track you, and they're like, we'll make this really good for you. Come on. I've got all of your Magikarps right here. Ooh, you want one of the golden ones? Yeah, I got it for you.
First one's free.
They are. So I'm stopping now because I upgraded my whale, and it wasn't great. But I feel like I've done my job, and I'm okay. I can move on. But that was creepy, though. He was looking at our LinkedIn profile.
We've all seen service dogs. We've all seen the real service dogs.
And you're not supposed to bother them when they're working because they're focused.
We'll tell them. There's a bunch of rules. But there is something, I bet you there's a rule that you don't know. And it's the whole reason the dog is there. We'll tell you coming up next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Hey, welcome back, Todd and Erin. Daily stream. I did not know this, and I kind of like to know stuff like this.
It is pretty cool. I didn't realize this either.
Service dogs. Service dogs for the blind. Service dogs for disabled people of different things, seizures, all these different things.
Which is a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing.
The dog can actually sense the electrostatic change in a human body, and they can alert you to a seizure. It's incredible.
And then they cuddle up with the person, sometimes make them aware to get on the floor. Other people who have limited capabilities or in wheelchairs and stuff, dogs can turn on lights, grab things for them, do all these different things. But I had no idea. They have a PSA out right now talking about this. You're not supposed to go up and touch a dog. You can ask, but most of the time
they're working.
Don't pat. Some have signs right on their vest. Please don't pat me. I'm working. What do you do if a service dog comes up to you and he's totally or she's totally alone? So you're walking down the street.
The dog is trained.
A dog with a service vest runs up to you and stops. And so a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you got away, you got out of the house or whatever. No, this is the dog, like Lassie, telling you that there is an issue and that you need to follow the dog.
Just like how Timmy fell down the well, except for more serious, because this is real.
This is amazing.
Well, here's the deal. The woman basically tripped and she fell flat on her face. She said it was awful and I was embarrassed, but my service dog thought that I had had a seizure. So they raced up they checked on me, and then my service dog raced to the closest person, trying to alert them to the fact that I needed help. And she said when she kind of got herself up and a little dusted off, kind of shakily went over, this woman's like swatting at her dog, going, "Get away from me, go away." And she's like, "I want to explain to you that if a service dog is approaching you, it's because their person needs help. It's not because they're like, oh, what's going on? They need you. So if you see a service dog wearing the vest and everything, it's because they're trying to alert other people that their owner needs some help."
I never knew that.
And I would have kind of went, "Hey, where's your person?" Because I would assume you need to go back, but it wouldn't have occurred to me that they were seeking my assistance.
So the number one thing is, can the dog lead you, which possibly can happen, or you start searching the perimeter, you get other people involved, and you keep looking and putting your search out farther and farther until you find out what's going on. But I guarantee you the dog will lead you. If the dog knew to come and get you...
They know to lead you back, yeah.
Right. Even though someone else is more capable than you?
There's always someone more capable than me. I always feel that way.
You have a duty now to follow that dog.
But she had talked about one of her friends who had had a heart attack and had fallen to her side, and the dog raced up and found another person who was alert enough to go, "Hey, what do you need?"
Right.
And they raced back, and the woman that the dog had found had saved the man's life.
That's crazy.
I mean... it's one of those little things that would never occur to you, but it's like, well, of course, naturally.
Right.
All right, so we go from noble to like the stupidest thing I could find this week because I live for these stories. I'm sorry. Mugshot of the week, ladies and gentlemen, from a Hayburn, Idaho man who stole $2,000 worth of equipment from the new Rupert Police Department.
Hey, dude.
He's a construction worker, and then he came back again.
Yeah.
And stole another $17,000.
Because there's more stuff. You gotta come
Austin
back
George Toner is charged with felony grand theft, felony burglary, misdemeanor petite theft.
Petite? Wait, what?
It's like the smaller theft.
So you got grand.
It's a baby theft.
You got grand or petite?
Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. He was the employee of the construction company that was working on the new department. And then, of course, all the losses happened. The construction company had gone. They're like, crap, what's going on? Well, in late May, 2 women came to the police to report that Toner had been bragging on social media about burglarizing the department, and then pulled up his Facebook account and then his Instagram account, and you could see that he was displaying, like, morning, and he was displaying some of the things that he had stolen.
It's like his resume,
stolen from the department. And he says, "You know what? I'm not even tripping about it because I know they won't catch me. I was wearing full body coverage, rubber gloves, and I had a respirator on to catch any DNA evidence." He says, "I hardwired the alarm system, so I knew where the blind spots were on the camera."
Right.
He says, "We had no choices but to move smooth and fast."
Online, taking pictures of ourselves and the stuff we stole.
I mean, it's like, oh, God bless you, honey. And yeah, so I had a video attached, showed the items stolen. 2 other men were named but not charged, but it's just...
You know, nowadays, it's like the police can sit at a Dunkin' Donuts and eat donuts all day long because people
just have a laptop,
idiots,
it's all you need, really.
Just sit there and go Facebook or YouTube. There you go. And then we'll round them up on Friday. What do you think? Yeah, I'll take another old-fashioned.
We had no choice but to move fast and smooth.
Right to jail. We look good in orange. You guys, thanks for watching. Share the show because it'll annoy people. So do that. If people
also qualifies you for the Christopher's Prime Steakhouse Glorious Dinner.
If people share the stupidest stuff with me, you should do it too. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for watching. See you.
Happy Wednesday.